Hello and welcome back to Europa Universalis 4. I am Lord Farin, here with another guide on government reforms, this time covering the tribe. So I've already covered monarchy, republic, theocracy, so if you're curious, check those out. On the other hand, now it's time to cover tribes, and I was told that tribes are absolutely terrible. In my opinion, they're not good, but they're not terrible either. So essentially, tribes are inferior to both, well, all of the other government forms, to be honest. Um, they tend to have, not the worst reforms, but they're not the greatest either. So at the beginning, you're gonna start off with either a tribal despotism, tribal monarchy, or if you're, for example, in Siberia, you could start off with a Siberian clan council. Those all have slightly unique mechanics. But if you're a tribal despotism, reduced core creation cost is actually kind of nice. Tribal monarchy, income from vassals, not too useful unless you've got lots of vassals. I'm thinking, maybe Congo? Because they can get a fair amount of vassals. But other than that, in my opinion, tribal despotism is better. Of course, you can switch, but you will incur a 10% corruption penalty, and that's really awful early game. Tier 2, cultural values. You have a choice between a martial society or a civil society. Civil society gives +5 tax modifier, which is nice. However, martial society gives you +20% manpower. I would take the martial society just because the sheer amount of manpower outweighs 5% of a tax reform, allows you to fight longer, fight larger armies, pretty good still. Tier 3, tribal religion. Religious society, -10% stability. Take it if you're having lots of troubles maintaining stability due to rulers dying, etc. On the other hand, lip service gives you reduced 20% land maintenance modifier, which means your armies are cheaper. Combined with martial society, you'll have larger, cheaper armies, which I don't see why you wouldn't want lip service. 20% land maintenance modifier is huge. It's huge. So I would take that. Next one, you got modernization. You can get 5% stability and core creation cost, which isn't terrible. Or you can retain a tribal hierarchy for +3 states and +10 maximum absolutism. I'm not exactly sure which one of these I'd pick. I guess if I'm expanding a lot and I want to expand more as a tribe, I'd take the maximum absolutism. Of course, centralized power would give you cheaper cores. The stability really doesn't enter into it that much. It's interesting that they have 2 stability reforms in a row for a total of -15% stability. So maybe you take those, get more there. I don't know. Next one, you've got your tribal reformation. You've got a choice of reforming into a monarchy, republic, theocracy, or a horde. If you form the horde, obviously you'll be stuck as a horde. That's kind of the way it goes. The other ones you will lose 4 reforms, I believe, for all of them. Yep. And then you will form into another government. If you want to play as a horde, this is a way to play as a horde, as any pretty much tribal nation. On the other hand, I don't think I've ever seen a fetishist theocracy, so that could be exciting to see sometime. Probably good if you're trying to conquer lots of regions and stay with the fetishist religion rather than a different one. Because they have, reduced war score versus other religions as a theocracy, which could be good. But otherwise, the Republic obviously has the better reforms, but then you have to deal with all the Republic mechanics, and a monarchy, you have to deal with the monarchy mechanics. So again, take your pick. Usually monarchy reforms are better in, just general gameplay. Monarchies, royal marriages, unions, if you're Christian, better vassal stuff. But if you really want good reforms, reforming into republics. Republics are actually viable now in the Dharma expansion. So that is actually it for this guide. It's relatively short. The tribe doesn't have the most reforms or have the best reforms. However, you can get lots of troops, lots of cheap troops, a fair amount of land and absolutism, and then reform to another government once you're done all your conquering. So it's actually quite viable to play a tribe now and conquer a fair amount of land early on with a large horde of relatively cheap units. Of course, most countries that start as tribes also start with a tech penalty, which will make it a bit harder for you. But now you could theoretically, as one of these smaller tribal nations compete with a much larger nation up north. Or in Africa, you could just conquer lots of land too. So essentially that's it for the tribe. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, subscribe, comment, the standard rigmarole of stuff people do. Or check out my other guide videos or my daily Let's Play videos. And I will see you guys all another time. Bye for now.